This is a Hot Pie Original.
Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast with me, Chad Fisher. No more.
Yo, it's Aaron Cheatham. Yeah, we out the house, boy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gray Area Podcast. I am Chad Fisher, your host, alongside my co-host, Mr. Aaron Cheatham. Aaron, how you doing, brother?
I am fantastic. That's where I'm at.
You got your line for a second, man?
Negative. I was just holding it out for dramatic effect.
Yeah, okay. Obviously, we're in a different studio this week, man. We're at the
the original,
the OG studio.
Back in the bunker.
Dog. Where we first started and shit before Hot Pie put some money behind us and shit. But
awesome. Please put more. We would like to come back. Whenever we're off punishment, it'd be fantastic.
Please take us off.
If we could be in the studio.
I swear we'll clean our room next time.
I swear to God, it's Chad's fault.
Yeah, shit, it probably is. But we got a guest today, man, that we're both super excited about.
We are. Hold on, though. You skipping steps.
Oh, shit, dude. Fuck.
How we been doing this for a fucking year and you're still skipping steps?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to be straight up honest with you, man. I forgot to get headlines.
Okay, well, do you got a shout out for this week?
Yeah.
Do you have a shout out?
Do I have a shout out, man? Shit. Why don't you go first, man?
Fine. I have a shout out. While you look it up real quick. While you try to find something in your life that you want to say what's up to.
You know I'm a dad, man. You know I'm busy as shit.
I'm a dad with 2 kids, so don't come at me with that.
My son is 7 months old, man, and I have them all day. So it's
I've been there too.
Is yours only 3 months old? Is this going to be the back?
I know, right?
Right. Keep going. I don't give a shit.
Man, my kids ain't even born yet. So.
He's like, I'm trying to make kids over here. I'm trying to make kids. My shout out goes, yesterday, I smoked a corned beef brisket.
Oh, shit.
And if you from the Midwest, if you from Detroit, if you from Chicago, y'all know about corned beef. Down in the South, they don't fuck with corned beef.
Real corned beef?
Like real corned beef.
Oh, I thought it was like a strain.
No. I smoked a corned beef brisket.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
And my shout out goes to the cow that gave his life.
Yeah, there you go.
For me to be able to smoke this I've never smoked a corned beef brisket before. I've always done it, old school, put it in the crock pot.
Yeah.
I smoked this motherfucker yesterday. Dude. And this shit.
How long did you smoke it for?
About 5.5, 6 hours.
Damn.
And I'm talking about, like, I look at my son and he's licking the plate. I'm like, I tell you, no, you got it, right?
No, it's good.
I let my fingers stay greasy for about 30 minutes and I was rationing off, just sucking off of, and then, oh man, if you ain't never smoked a corned beef brisket before, get it in your life, people. Get it in your life, boo-boo. Yeah, I got a smoker.
Oh, shit.
Got my big ass cast iron, thick, got wheels and shit on it. It's legit.
You said it all like I accused you of something. You're like, yeah, I got a smoker, motherfucker.
Yes,
God damn.
Yes.
I know,
smoke game is for real. Yeah, man.
It's
yeah.
Texas, man.
But I also don't know what kind of weed y'all got out here, so I don't know.
Oh shit! Oh, we got some weed.
We got the type of weed that got a motherfucker going, I'm gonna smoke me a corned beef brisket. That's how good. That's the level of weed we got. I wonder what happened if I smoked this motherfucker.
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna smoke the shit out this motherfucker. And I smoked it and salute that fucking bovine for laying down on the sword so that way I can make that shit happen. God, it was so good. Like it's so, you ever ate something so good that later on it's talking to you?
Yeah.
Like I felt its hot, sweet breath on the back of my neck, making me do that. Girl, go on now. Stop. Get from behind me.
Get from behind me.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna just go and see how much I got of you left in the fridge. I'm gonna go, ooh, corned beef. Why you come out here wearing, you ain't got nothing on corned beef. I'm finna warm you up, bitch. I'm finna put you in the microwave, goddamn. Ooh, why you do that to my, ooh, shit, bitch, you burn so good. Oh, I'm gonna put some horseradish on this motherfucker.
Oh, damn, that sounds good.
Oh, I got me some Grey Poupon and some provolone cheese. I'm gonna melt it on this bitch, put it on a bun. Skeet them. Oh,
yeah, dude.
Oh, thank you. I salute you.
Damn, that sounds good.
Sir Cow or Madam Cowess, for the sacrifice you made. Cowess. In this culinary evolution.
Yeah.
I mean, after I had them corned beef egg rolls in Detroit, I was like, anything is possible.
Oh, yeah.
Egg rolls.
I gotta go back to Detroit.
Bruh.
Yeah, dude.
Bruh.
Egg roll.
And the voice you guys are hearing is our guest.
Yeah.
I'm talking too much.
He's talking way too much too early, but it's Doc Farrow is in the building with us.
We're gonna give him a proper introduction here.
We're gonna reintroduce him in a minute, but I want him to continue the commentary. Chad, did you find a shout out?
So yeah, man. So that just reminded me because I just found today, man. So there's this chain of restaurants. It's in Texas. It's in a couple other states too. I looked these bitches up. I think there's some in California too. But it's called La Madeleine. You heard this? So it's like a French bistro place and shit. But they had like the rest of their menu is like but they had this chicken cordon bleu pasta that was like my favorite fucking meal for so many years, man. Like, oh God. It was like the ultimate hangover meal. Man, dog, my mouth starts watering just thinking about it and shit.
Is it whispering on the back of your neck?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
So one day, man.
Slow caress around the waist.
Tragic ass day, dude. This was many years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. I go to order this motherfucker and I call him up. I'm like, you got a place to go order. I'm like, yo, let me get that chicken cordon bleu pasta. I get this shit like twice a week. And she goes, we don't have that. And I was like, I was like, oh, she must be new or some shit, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, whatever. And so I hang up and call back and I'm like, hey, I got that chicken cordon bleu pasta. And they're like, yo, we don't have that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I drove to this motherfucker and was like, hey, what the hell's going on? Because this is like it's like a call center and shit. So it's not even the people actually in the store. I was like, someone's fucking up. And they're like, nah, man, we got rid of it. And I was like, how did y'all do this and not tell me? Like, what the fuck? So I was pissed off, man. I was like, dude, I've written them like 4 emails. Like, y'all got to bring this shit back. I'm not playing, man. It was my favorite meal of all time and the best hangover food ever. And I was just like, I've been sad as shit about this for like 4 years, man. I bring it up every once in a while to my girlfriend. Like,
did it come back? Is that why this is your shout out?
They didn't. But we found a recipe online, and my girl's a private chef, so she's like, I'm making you that shit.
So is the shout out La Madeleine, or is it
both? And Gina and my girlfriend Gina, because she promised me she gonna make me this shit. And she's like, I'm going to make that for Father's Day. I'm like, girl, we're going to have that like 5 more times before Father's Day.
I think maybe you should save this shout out for Gina until she actually comes through.
Yeah,
with the chicken cordon bleu pasta. I mean, this is I would say this is a pre-shout out to Gina, but La Madeleine for laying down the blueprint.
Yeah,
and a potential. If we're playing spades, there's a potential shout out over here for Gina if she come through. There's a potential. I got 4 books and a potential.
Yeah, I might get you again, girl, if you can come through with this shit, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my shout out. So my shout out is to whoever put this fucking shit online, man. I found it like 3 different places. Someone like somehow got the recipe. I was about to call these motherfuckers up, like, let me get this recipe. I knew they was gonna be stingy with it and shit. So I was like, but yeah, man. So we found the recipe this afternoon, and I was like, dude, we're getting this shit this weekend. It's going down.
You make this shit, you're getting another baby.
Yeah, you might. Shit, we'll see.
You make this shit right here?
We're going to bust through.
I'm putting something in the oven. Goddamn.
I don't give a fuck. Oh, yeah. But let's give a
Wait, didn't we have that word on, what was the word on, we did, oh my word. And there was a word about bun in, it was something about, you remember what I'm talking about? There was one about putting something in the bacon. Fuck. Bun bacon or something?
Bun.
This would be a perfect time to bring that word back. We should go back and look at the episode that we did where we did that one, and because we don't know everything, but y'all know. You got the rewind. Find that episode and tell us what the word is we can't think of that was on Oh My Word.
Bacon and
it's something bacon. Was it bacon cakes?
Bacon cakes, I think.
It is now. Bacon, you make this. We baking cakes,
goddamn. Cakes, girl. We're gonna make a couple cakes in that.
That was a long walk for a callback joke that nobody remembered.
Yeah, fuck, man. Everyone looked out for me.
You're like, we're baking cakes.
I'm right there with Hunter.
Whatever he's saying.
Yeah, whatever you remember, just let me know, man. Just let me know. But I want to give a proper introduction, also because I spent like 30 minutes today going through this and writing this shit, so I don't want to waste it. So I want to go through my intro, man. Our guest today is a super funny comedian, actor, writer, director, producer. Plays Coach Wilkins on the hit CBS show Young Sheldon. He does commercials. He's voiceover work. He's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm, Modern Family. He was on also one of my favorite shows of all time, Arrested Development. He truly has too many credits to list. Please welcome to the Gray Area Podcast, Doc Farrow. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Like we ain't been talking for like the last 5 minutes and shit.
And it is. He's really humble looking right now, but his mind it took y'all motherfuckers this long to say my name.
Come on, man.
Y'all should have introduced. Welcome to Doc Farrow's here.
I lost all expectations when the cat walked in. Started scratching the lights. Like,
she had a joint in her mouth and shit. You're like, damn, where does cat get a joint from? Shit.
Nah, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Bronte don't give a shit, man.
Good to have you here, brother.
Yeah. Hold up 1 second. Never mind. Go ahead. We're good. Sorry. But yeah, good to have you here, man.
What was that?
Dog, I got dude, my fucking we don't have Colton here, man. I'm trying to do like 3 jobs at once. This shit is like, detecting feedback and shit. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Engineer.
Yeah. So we usually just show up like some pretty boys and just do our shit, sit down. He's got everything. Now I'm over here like, fucking. I don't remember.
Shout out to Colton. That should have been your shout out. That should have
been my shout. Colton,
the collective shout out from the Gray Area podcast.
Colton, we need you in South Austin.
To our favorite firecracker.
Yeah,
Colton, aka Michael Bolton.
What you call him, little ginger?
Because he has red hair. He looks like a rooster.
I knew,
and he's got like this weird cowlick thing. So even when he gets a haircut, it's still fluffy as shit. Yeah, like he looks like a Nickelodeon cartoon, like a Nicktoons back in the early '90s. Saturday morning, he's got that.
Redheaded nappy.
It's not nappy. It's just fluffy. It's very feathery.
Is it?
I imagine it's soft.
Yeah.
I imagine it's soft and it smells like
you touch that shit.
Nah, man. No, I've got a strict rule. Don't ask and I won't ask either. But as soon as you ask to touch my hair, then I'm touching everything of yours.
That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's it. You violated my hair space. I'm violating everything. Fuck, you shoot 2, I shoot 4 back. That's where we go. We like to play a game every week with our guests, Doc. We have a game we want to play with you. It's one of Chad's favorite games.
Okay.
It's called Julian's Got What?
Oh, this is my shit.
The way this works is there's this website called Julian's Auctions, and they're out of Beverly Hills. They auction off a bunch of crazy fucking Hollywood music entertainment shit.
Okay.
At outrageous prices sometimes, and sometimes surprisingly low. But it's just the real thing is, how did y'all get half the shit? It's real sketchy. The shit that they auction off is sketchy.
Like some cat burglars, these motherfuckers.
It's like, how did you get that? Okay. So the way this game works, it's old school, higher or lower. I'm gonna tell you the item, give you a price. You tell me if you think the actual price that it was auctioned off for is higher or lower.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Are we ready, fellas?
Yeah.
All right then. This week we are doing this is from the Icons and Idols trilogy Hollywood 7, which was an auction that took place December 3rd, 2020 in Beverly Hills.
All right.
First thing on the auction block, higher or lower? A Bill Clinton signed saxophone. Was this higher or lower than $7,500?
Higher.
Oh, higher, dude.
Higher?
Yeah.
Much higher.
Yeah.
That's got to be 6 digits.
No.
Someone from Lewinsky family probably bought that bitch.
They probably the one that auctioned it off, right?
How much do I think it was worth, or how much it went for?
It went for $12,800.
That's it? That's crazy. Right, well, I think it'd be more than that.
No.
Since he visited Epstein Island, they was like, your shit went downhill.
There was a lot of people.
Here we go. Second
My
item.
economy was good.
Yeah, God damn it.
Second item. Marilyn Monroe received 30th birthday card from Inez Melson with significant message regarding the end of their personal relationship.
Oh, shit.
This is a birthday card sent to Marilyn Monroe for her 30th birthday. It had a message written by Inez Melson talking about why they fell out. How did you get this, Julian? How did you get this?
That is a strange ass pickup.
Birthday card with a message about how they fell out. Do you think this auctioned off for more or less than $5,000?
More.
Yeah, I'm gonna say more. I'm gonna say lower. Just play devil's advocate, but
it's lower. It is.
Wow.
It was auctioned off for $1,280. Who's paying $1,300 for a birthday card?
Julian's always got some crazy shit of Marilyn Monroe's.
Always.
They always got some weird shit.
Maybe that's why the market's not high.
Yeah. It's got to be,
All right, here we go.
birthday card.
Yeah.
Panties, they.
Yeah. That's
Oh
way
yeah,
more.
nah, come on, yeah.
That's
Some
6 digits.
Marilyn Monroe panties with a little residue on them,
Oh shit, dude.
with a little DNA. If it's got some DNA in it,
That's gonna be some crusty ass
It's
shit.
JFK.
and
Still,
I put it in a glass case.
I'm still keeping
I
that
would
motherfucker.
put that shit right above my bed, my headboard in the bedroom.
Right next to Michael Jackson.
Right next to my Michael Jackson picture. In fact, it's right below my Michael Jackson picture.
Yeah.
I rub the panties for good luck before I have sex every time. Blow a kiss to Mike, rub the panties, and then get busy.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that was $1,280.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
Next up on the docket, from Julian's Auctions, John Wayne eye patch from True Grit.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
The John Wayne eye patch from True
We're
Grit.
talking about the dude.
Was that over or under $50,000?
That's over, man. Some Western collector definitely picked that
I'm
up.
gonna go under.
Yeah.
You're going under?
Yeah.
You're going over?
Yeah.
It's under.
Damn.
12,800.
That's a steal.
12,800.
Dog, I mean, I know to millionaires 12 grand ain't shit. But dog, I just can't imagine that, man. Ever being like so rich that I'm like, I'm gonna pay 13 grand for a fucking eye patch.
But you know what? Of all the things I've read off so far, that's the only one that feels remotely close to being worth that.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it's John Wayne and True Grit's one of like the greatest
cool as
westerns
shit.
of all
It
time.
is a great, it's one of
So
the
I can
best.
see that one being worth
Even the
that
remake
much.
was good of that shit.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But I'm not paying shit for a Marilyn Monroe birthday
Yeah, hell
card.
No.
All right, here we go. Next on the docket. How the fuck did Julian get this? Bing Crosby's passport.
Oh shit.
Is that
dude.
over?
Dude, they got some suspect shit, man.
How did you get Bing Crosby's passport? Was that over or under $10,000 for Bing Crosby, for the man's government paper, like documentation, his passport, Bing Crosby's passport?
That's crazy.
Over under 10,000.
Under.
Under 10,000?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with under.
It is over, fellas.
Wow.
It went for $16,000.
That's
Bing
crazy.
Crosby's passport.
Wow.
Wouldn't that have like your social security number on it?
Yeah, you would think, man. Someone's trying to get credit cards in his name. and
When
shit.
you-
Passports don't.
They got like an
What?
address or some shit.
Like, it's not like I'm gonna say, "Hey, I'm Bing Crosby. Let me fly."
Yeah, they can leave their ass. They're like, hey, we know this fucker died a long time ago.
Right. Yeah. It's probably got the hole punch in it.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
you guys want to go
still.
big money or you want to stay hanging out in this ballpark we're at right now?
That's
Go big
cool.
money.
Big money. Yeah.
Big money?
Harder ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big money. Here we go. Sean Connery, James Bond, Walter P.P. Pistol used in Dr. No with the DVD.
Oh shit.
It also comes with the DVD.
Like they got to hand over the DVD
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know whoever's buying it's got like 50 copies.
He's like
of
checking.
it.
He's like, hold on, let me get that DVD.
It says here that it comes with the
The
DVD.
DVD.
I'm here for my DVD.
Yeah, like they like that's like if you definitely know it's going to be low. It's like, we got this for you.
Yeah.
You know what we're going to throw in the DVD too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it in the DVD. That's-
Yeah.
charge
You know
the
what?
film.
Yeah.
Now we're getting money. No,
Yeah.
that's-
We're gonna scratch $29.99 off of the price of this.
Yeah.
You know
And we're
what?
gonna
I
get
can't-
you-
I got to get
bootleg.
authorization for this.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to throw in the DVD too now.
Wow. It's
Let me check with my manager, see if I can get you that DVD with it.
God damn it. I can't believe they said yes, but we're going to throw in the DVD too.
We're just giving shit away over here, Julian.
Would you like Odd Job? We'll throw in Odd Job too. He's just hanging out in the back. All right, so the Sean Connery, James Bond, Walter P.P. Pistol used in Dr. No with DVD. Do you think that went for over or under $150,000?
God damn.
Over or under 150?
Over on. I'm gonna
It's
say
James
over.
Bond.
It is James Bond.
I say over.
You said both of you say over?
Yeah.
You would both be correct because it went for $256,000
Jesus Christ, dude.
for a prop gun.
That's
$256,000.
just unreal, man.
We got two more. We got
You
two
can
more.
set up like a water filtration system for like an entire community in Africa for like half that much. I'm
Or
pretty
you
sure.
can pay for your child's education.
Yeah. 4 times over. Yeah.
Good.
Save 10 people for a year here.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Hell yeah, dude.
All right, we got two left, guys. Two
He's like,
left.
fuck them. I want that shit.
Next up on the docket, Tom Cruise Maverick helmet
Oh,
from Top
shit.
Gun
I'll buy that motherfucker.
with
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
with a DVD.
Oh shit! Come on, they gotta stop with this shit. Man. They're like, sorry, we don't got any DVD players. You're gonna have to buy that one yourself.
Tom Cruise, don't know where you're gonna buy a DVD player, but we have a Tom Cruise Maverick helmet from Top Gun with a DVD.
It wasn't a 4K with digital download.
They also don't say that whether the DVD is the DVD of Top Gun. It could be a DVD of any. It could be like Disney on Ice DVD. They just say DVD. We didn't specify. We just said DVD.
It might be Mighty Ducks too. Who
it might.
Shit, you know. You'll watch it anyways.
It could be the air up there, but you know. That's Tom Cruise. That's a great fucking call. Tom Cruise Maverick helmet from Top Gun with DVD. Do you think this auctioned off for more or less than $250,000?
Oh, more, dude. Yeah,
more.
Yeah. Top Gun. That's like an iconic fucking film,
and that's recently iconic. I mean, like Dr. No is older, so you got more. I don't know.
You're both wrong. It went for $108,800, which is still astronomical. $108,800 for the Tom Cruise Maverick helmet. You guys thought it would be worth more than that?
I did.
Yeah, dude, that was like one of the biggest movies of like my childhood, man. I mean, that shit, I've probably seen that movie like 50 times. That shit was good, man. That was my shit.
See, I think, you know what? I think this is just, I'm throwing this out there. I think the reason it didn't go for as much as the James Bond shit is because the people that are auctioning on the James Bond shit have old money.
Yeah, that's true.
And the people that are auctioning on some Top Gun shit,
those are
they're just coming in the money.
Yeah, those like some app developers or some shit.
Yeah, or somebody. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And, I mean, also James Bond is just a much bigger dynasty.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, that's a dynasty.
All right, last one. Here we go. This is the biggie.
All right.
The Predator 2 alien costume was auctioned off on Julian.
Fuck.
Do you think that auctioned off for more or less than $75,000 for the actual alien costume from Predator 2?
Yes.
How are they getting this shit, man? They be blackmailing people and shit.
Seriously. I really believe that Julian's is running in people's houses, just kicking indoors.
I think
kicking in the door, waving the fofo. Give me the suit. Give me the suit.
Like, I think if you just get like $1,000 hooker, you get them to like flirt with the person, you get some footage. Cost you less than $1,500. You're selling this shit for over $75,000.
You thought this out. You really put some thought into how Julian's making this happen.
I got a good plan for some business works, man.
That's some iceberg ass shit. I gave me a couple of shawties on the side, sit my bottom in there.
I got a business model if you want to.
They're going to leave the window unlocked and then me and Debo then going to slide in the back on their ass.
Let's get some seed money.
We getting all them birthday cards, you know?
That 75?
It was 75, over under 75,000 for the Predator costume.
I say under.
I say over.
You say over?
Yeah.
Then our winner this week is going to be Doc Farrow. Because the price of the Predator 2 alien costume, it was auctioned off for $16,000. Can we get a GoFundMe so we can go buy the Alien 2 costume?
I'll do the podcast every week in that bitch. I don't give
seriously, like you can't get me to take it off.
Predator 2 was the second worst Predator movie. That's how I knew it wasn't going.
Yeah.
The first one or the last one, okay, maybe, but not that one.
Yeah.
Really? Danny Glover?
I like it, but I'm saying as far as the one that got the most clout behind it, it's not the second one.
I guess I watched the fuck out the second one. That was my shit.
I love it.
I mean, I don't know how the Predator 2 Predator varies from the Predator 1 Predator. Isn't it the same Predator?
It is. No, it's a different one.
Different guy, same species.
Same species, yeah. But then they show all of his grandparents and parents and shit.
That was so awesome at the end when they did that. Yeah,
no, absolutely.
I guess the same costume. Like you could have just said it was the Predator 1.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch it to see.
I'm surprised Julians didn't do that, man. They know damn well that shit's not as popular. They slid
it in. This was like the opening act. This was the during the open mic portion of the auction. They slid in the Predator 2 fucking costume.
That's how we get it started.
And then they brought out Marilyn Monroe to feature. So when Big Daddy fucking Bond comes through with that big dick gun money,
take the Predator 2. We got the big dick gun money.
Big dick gun money.
They had like the Super Predator suit from the last one.
That's the one in Antarctica with Sanaa Lathan? That one?
That was Predator, Alien versus Predator.
Okay. There was a Predator after that?
Yeah, the one that came out last year.
The Predator came out last year?
Yeah, it's got the old boy from This Is Us in it. Fuck's his name?
Shit, I don't know. He
played.
If he's not on a reality show, Chad's not going to know him.
if he's not on Bachelorette or Married at First Sight, I'm probably not going to know that shit.
He keeps getting nominated for everything.
I mean, if he's not doing like guest spots on WWE, I probably haven't seen him in the past 2 years. That's the only reason I know who Bad Bunny is. That's the only reason.
I don't know who that is.
You only know 2,000 people.
Like, I didn't know who Lil Nas X was. My brother's a fashion designer and just dressed him for a photo shoot, a magazine cover they did. I had no idea. What's up, Tatey? How you doing? Bronte making a little...
No,
she don't give a shit.
No.
Bronte making
You're being very rude.
Appearance.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's not very ladylike. You don't put your tongue in somebody else's glass. That is not very ladylike.
This is recording at the crib, man. We got a little guest appearance.
Look, here's a real talk. People love it. Hold Bronte, because people want to see that. They want to see you with the cat, whatnot. You understand how many heart emojis we're gonna get?
Oh yeah.
If Colton cuts this and makes it the clip right here.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah.
Doc, let's make precious faces.
Look at this. Look at this beautiful baby.
It's a cat.
Dude, anytime I'm recording in here, if I'm like doing sketches and shit, she's got.
That's all she wanted. Look, she's gone. That's all. She just wanted a little attention.
Yeah,
a little shine.
No,
It's a little shine.
She just wants to make sure she gets in the shit so she can get some.
She wants all them other cats to know who's running shit. Y'all know y'all ain't letting this motherfucker come in here do shows, and I ain't finna be in it.
She wants some.
We ain't gonna see her for the rest of the show.
She wants some residuals and shit, man. She's like, I just thought I show my face, make sure I get on camera, so I get some residuals.
You got anything? Did you find anything trending that you want to talk about? Anything headline related?
Because I know nothing.
That's a good question, man. Yeah, I don't know anything that's going on right now, dude. Of course,
open up your Twitter and look at what's trending.
I don't like
there we go.
news
Or I can open up my Twitter and look at what's trending.
Do that, yeah.
We can get a couple of these. We got to get the motherfucking current events and shit going.
Yeah, that's true, man. Of course.
This is not. We ain't usually like. You know what I'm saying? This ain't this because usually.
Usually we're
Colton.
This is all Colton shit.
Right.
What do we got going
Miss you,
on?
Colton.
Oh, what's up with you hear UT? They're having that big debate about the Eyes of Texas song.
It's been going on for a minute, but where are they at with it now?
They're saying now like there's like tensions are boiling over and everything like that. Students are refusing to work, and a man with a gun crashed a virtual event. What the fuck? A virtual event? Well, they're afraid that he's going to shoot him. Like they're fucking.
Was it that senator from Canada? Did he just pop in with his dick out? Like,
dude,
hello, mate.
Yeah.
What did he steal the password to a Zoom meeting and then pull a gun?
Yeah. He was just like, hey,
crash a virtual.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess everyone's like terrified because he's like virtually fucking threatening them and shit. I don't know,
virtually threatening? Is he Johnny Mnemonic? Like
so
what?
I haven't read the actual line. Yeah, right.
That's a good line.
Yeah, it is. I haven't read the words.
That's what it is.
Yeah, right.
It's Ultra.
Zula's got us. Zula's got us.
Yeah, I didn't read the words to that shit, but what I heard their beef is that it was performed at like minstrel shows back in the day, which at the same time I'll say, dog, pretty much, I bet almost everything was, you know what I'm saying, too. You know what I mean? Like, these guys, UT, like, the traditions here are so old, all that shit. You don't have to look far for that to have been said by a racist at some point, you know what I'm saying? But also at the same time, why are they trying to keep the song? Like, who gives a fuck, dude? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, let's be, honestly, only reason anybody even knows that song is around is because the band plays it during the games. And when the band plays it, there's no words. It's just the instruments. So just don't sing it out loud. Just white people treat it the way you treat the N-word in rap songs. And just don't say anything. Don't say the song at all.
What surprises me, though, is that there's so many rich donors and shit like that are trying to keep it relevant, trying to keep it. They're like, they've been threatening to pull away money if they pull the song.
Who gives a fuck about the song?
Why are y'all so like married to this shit? Who gives a fuck, dude?
You know what it is? I bet you like somewhere in the lyrics or the playing of the song, there's some type of, you know, secret code embedded in it that awakens the sleeper cells of fucking alt-right fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. They can't lose that fucking, that goddamn weapon of silent destruction of people's psyches that they've got in the eyes of Texas is upon me. That's what it is.
Is that what the song? Okay, so I don't know anything about any of this.
So there's a song, you know, like Georgia has Georgia.
Right.
They have that song about them, and Sweet Home Alabama.
Right.
And then Texas has The Eyes of Texas. That's kind of like the Texas song. And
How's it go?
The eyes of Texas are upon you. It's I've been working on the railroad, right?
Okay.
It's in that tune.
Okay. I literally thought when you said the eyes of Texas are upon you, I thought that was what Chuck Norris was doing.
Yeah.
In the eyes of the
Rangers upon you. So
God damn it! Really, he just sung this song like a month ago. He just sung this song like a month ago.
That was about to be my next joke. Was that this is not to be confused with the Walker Texas Ranger theme song. Which is amazing and one of the greatest songs.
All I know about Texas is what Chuck Norris tells me.
Chuck Norris don't fuck around.
Is he even from Texas?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got to be, dude. He's got to be.
Or did he just like grow up to look like he's from Texas?
That's probably true.
He's from Indianapolis, but he grew up to look like he's from Texas.
If he's from Connecticut, I'm gonna be upset. You know what I'm saying?
Just he grew up a leathery face, and they go, "No, he's from Texas." He's like, "I am now, partner."
I gotta find out now.
Does the song? What is so? What's offensive about it? That's the argument. Is that they played it in minstrel.
Yeah, that's what I've heard is that they used to play that. And it's like, dude, I bet you they did. I bet you they sang the fight song there too. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's just
Texas, dude. They've been playing football since the 1800s.
I think this is more. This story is more about people looking for something to be pissed about than about the actual song. Because I mean, honestly, I don't think that this song doesn't have an effect on anybody. The only time you hear it is if you're at the camp. Like nobody else is hearing this. Nobody's walking around singing that shit. Right. It's just people that. And I guarantee you, most of these people forget about the song 6-7 months out of the year, and it's just during that one time a year, football season, that they hear it over and over again. That they go, "That's right." They say that this song has some racial undertone. Fuck it. It's okay.
I think there's other battles that you should be fighting. It's
okay, man. And it's mostly white soccer moms.
Yeah, it's just like this.
Nobody cares. You're making a deal out of this.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
it's white soccer moms that want to get rid of it.
Probably, just because they feel like it absolves them of like all the other racist shit they've done their entire lives.
It's not like a group of black people are saying we need to get rid of this song. It's university alumni.
Yeah,
this is kind of like the frou-frou thing that they can do.
Yeah, because they can't affect any other change. Yeah, it's exactly right, brother. That's exactly right.
That's exactly what it is.
Sadly enough, Chuck Norris was born in Ryan, Oklahoma, dude. He's not even from fucking Texas.
Oh, he's a Sooner?
He's not from Texas, but he's in the worst place else you could be.
Yeah, from Texas. Oklahoma, dude. Yeah.
So wait. Aggies and Longhorns, is that the big thing?
Sooners and Longhorns.
Yeah.
Sooners and Longhorns.
But and then he grew up in Torrance, California, from 12 years old.
That's where my brother-in-law lives now.
Oh, okay.
Not in Torrance.
Yeah, so he's not Texas at all.
He's a fucking Oklahoma or a California Sooner.
Well,
dude, you're not going to believe this, though. So. This motherfucker is 82 years old.
That sounds right.
I believe it. Yeah, when you sell your soul, you look really good at 80.
Dude, he looks amazing.
Yeah, of course he does. 82. He sold his soul.
He sold his soul to who? Bruce Lee?
No, to beat Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was a sacrifice for Chuck Norris to be here today. He's like, yeah, kill that fucking guy. You can take him. Just give me 17 more Delta Force movies and I'll be good.
Dude, I'm looking at pictures of now. He looks really fucking good for his age, man.
Of course he does.
Half that good, shit.
Yes, he's rubbing pre-fetal stem cells all over his face.
He is, dude. Hell yeah.
Hey, he was a beast back in the day.
Yeah, of course he was. He sold his soul.
Worst actor ever, man.
Not worse than Steven Seagal.
That's
I don't know.
Seagal's pretty damn terrible.
I don't know, dude. Those guys are both awful, but I don't know. I think Chuck Norris might take him. Watch one episode of Walker Texas Ranger, man.
Go watch Steven Seagal pulling people over on whatever that Cops TV. Yeah. He's got that Cops TV
that
show.
The shit, man. I love that shit.
Steven Seagal's fat ass shuffling in.
Dude, that was my shit.
Get on the ground.
There'd always be like these like super drunk people and shit like that. They be talking to him and stuff, and he's
like trying to
Steven Seagal, man. Holy shit, I'm gonna get my life together, man.
He's trying to do conflict resolution. It's like you're fucking Steven Seagal. That's why everybody shuts up. They're like, Steven Seagal. You are not a negotiator. Calm down.
You're not a negotiator.
Here's a story. Daniel Bryan apparently is no longer in the WWE. Kind of came up out of nowhere. He had a match last Friday on SmackDown, which I still have not watched, but I do keep up with what's going on in WWE. But I have not actually watched WWE since I had that rant a couple weeks ago about it. But Daniel Bryan, one of the greatest of all time, his contract ended last Friday with actually nobody knowing. People thought his contract was ending in September, and he had this big match last week against Roman Reigns for the championship. If he lost, he was going to be fired from the show. And everybody thought it was just a storyline until that night his name was moved from the active roster to the alumni section on the website. So Daniel Bryan is probably the hottest free agent in wrestling right now. Chances are he's going to stay with WWE. But like the internet's been going crazy today and yesterday with speculation over what's going, like, how did this happen and nobody knew it was happening? And what is he going to do now? It's a huge story in the internet wrestling community. So best of luck to Daniel Bryan.
That's crazy.
But he's been like leaving breadcrumbs for about like the last 6-7 weeks. Like even leading into WrestleMania, he was just like dropping breadcrumbs of this thing coming, but never actually saying it.
That's crazy.
So like just then boom, everybody kind of put the pieces together. What's today? Wednesday? Monday night, they started putting pieces together. Tuesday, reports started coming out. And then today, it's like, no, it's official. He's gone.
Wow.
So, yo, shout out to Daniel Bryan. I already know you can land on your feet. Your wife is a goddamn superstar with her own clothing line and sanitary line and everything, and cosmetic line and got 2 reality TV shows. So he's fine. He's basically Tom Brady. That's who Daniel Bryan is. If you don't watch wrestling and you don't know who he is, he's essentially Tom Brady. This guy that looks great for his age, that married a woman who probably makes 7 times the amount of money that he makes with her own fucking ventures. So she's a former wrestler turned Kardashian.
Turned businesswoman and shit.
So he's straight. You got another story?
No, I don't, man. But I do have some questions for Doc.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
All right, well then.
I got to tell you, I haven't watched WWE since it was WWF.
I haven't either, man. I know everything I know about WWE from him. Just him telling this stuff, and I'm like, oh, okay. Or sometimes I see Twitter and shit.
So when you're writing, you want to have one person in the scene who doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Where you can get away with some exposition.
Yeah.
I've been that one person for now a half hour.
Oh, shit. Let's talk about some things you do know, which is yourself, man. So we'll talk a little bit about how you got into comedy, because you were going down a different path, right? Like you were in the military.
Before you do that, camera.
Oh, shit. It's already off. It's been off. Fuck.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you want to keep it going. Nope, cool.
It's all good. Word. But you were pursuing a different path, a different career path. Like you were in the military. You said you were pursuing a career in medicine, right?
Yeah.
And then you decided to get on your bike and go to LA, right?
Yeah. So I got out of the military in 2005, and then I kind of bummed around California for a few years. And I was a drug and alcohol counselor for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
While I was doing that, I was going to school, and I was getting my prerequisites for the nursing program out of the way. I was in Palm Springs.
Okay.
And I went on vacation in Arizona, which none of that makes sense.
Could you lift your mic up a little?
Oh, can you?
That's much better.
Okay. I was on vacation in Arizona, just seeing some friends, and I was sitting on the couch smoking a Black and Mild, and I was watching it was the Colbert Report, and then Chappelle came on next with Killing 'Em Softly.
Oh, yeah.
And then Larry the Cable Guy had come on. I can't remember which special it was. But when I got to Larry the Cable Guy, I was smoking and I went, yeah, I can do that shit.
Yeah.
That's literally what I said to myself.
Yeah.
Went home that very next day. I changed all my college credits, and I took an acting course and a public speaking course, which probably could have not taken the public speaking now looking back. But I had listened to an interview where Dave Chappelle said that, I think he said Bill Cosby told him that if you want to be a good comedian, if you want to be a great comedian, you have to be a good actor. And I was like, okay, well, so I changed it to an acting course, and I was like, I've never done this before, and it feels different, and I don't know, but I like it. Ended up losing my job, like about 2 months after I'd started this acting class in college, and I had a couple $1,000s in my bank account. And I was like checking out places around Palm Springs. It was like I had to drive 20 miles to find an open mic. I had to go 30 miles to find a show. And it was like, and then the open mics they had in Palm Springs, it was like
old people were there and shit.
Old people, like it wasn't really, it was like bars and stuff. Like now I know open mics are all about, but I was like, you know what, if I'm going to do this, might as well go to LA.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a motorcycle, $2,000, and LA I went.
Booked it up there.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
brought all my stuff, ended up in this place called Koreatown, which is like, even there, an apartment the size of this room, like the whole thing is the size of this
expensive.
room. It's like $700 a month.
Damn.
So I had no idea how I was going to last until I had when I got to LA, I moved to LA first, then I auditioned for acting school. And I was like, I have no idea whether I got in or not, but I ended up getting into acting school, but I had like 4 months before I could get into acting school. I'm poor.
Yeah.
I know how to be poor. Just stretch everything and only eat top ramen noodles. Like I know how to do that. So I went and got a whole bunch of different jobs. I did the telemarketing thing, made cold calls for this. I was a vendor at the where the Lakers play. Where is that?
Staples Center?
Yeah, I was a vendor there, passing out popcorn,
what's up?
Candy and
Some
stuff.
free games, man. That's cool.
Well, you know what's bad about it is it was right after, it was on the off season. It was in June.
Yeah.
But they had like X Games.
Yeah.
I went down to
concerts and shit.
Yeah, the Home Depot Center down in Orange County had like hockey going on, so I was able to go down there. And I'm not hockey. I think it was like tennis. I was helping out with tennis. But you're walking around with like this big thing. It's no easy job.
Yeah.
You're not getting paid anything. And I just tried to do whatever I could. And then like I went to LA to do stand up, but it was so scary to me. It still took me 3 months to even go down to get into an open mic. So I started doing some open mics. And I had gotten this job with Greenpeace, and then they fired me because I couldn't canvas, which is good because I didn't want to do it anyway.
Those fuckers are annoying anyway.
What's canvas?
Canvas is when those people that are like, hey, there's whales, and there's stuff that you need to know to make your life better and help out.
Give us the money and we'll make sure they get it, okay?
I'm not against people who are out there trying to make the world better, but when you got people who are hurting, they're not going to sit and listen to you. And I was one of those people who are like, no. Okay. And I'm like, I'm poor. Like, I'm not going to ask other people for money when I know they're poor too. So, doing some open mics, and I bombed. Like, I had all these people around me that were in Hollywood that were like, yeah, you do stand up, try stand up. This is how you should do it. And it's like, bitch, I've never heard of you. Like, why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
But I did, and I went and did it, and I'd get up there and I'd bomb. And then somebody else who says they've been doing it for 10 years, they'd bomb. And I was like, oh, so this is normal. Like, you're bombing and you say you're this good, so I'll bomb for a little while too. And I bombed like a couple of times. And then finally, I don't know what it was, but I had written it right. And I got, and open mics are not nice. There's a whole bunch of comedians that just want to wait for you to get off and
so they can do their shit.
Yeah. And I finally got it. It was like, okay, I'm doing something right, Ended up, I had was getting ready to start acting school, and I knew I was not going to be able to do open mics as regularly, and so forth and so on. There was a guy named Stroy Moyd at my first open mic. He's a big comic guy. I love him. He's a powerhouse comedian. He's been rated like one of the top 5 in the Bay Area. He's a beast, and this was back in 2009. And my motorcycle that I brought out to LA, I ended up getting into a car accident. Somebody took my right away and plowed into me, and I went flopping over the top and broke my foot.
Damn.
Sprained my hip and then pinched a nerve in my back.
Oh, damn.
And this is a week before acting school started.
Oh, shit.
Now, there's 2 sides of this. One, I don't have any money. And when I started acting school, I didn't have a bus pass, and I wasn't going to take a train because they give you out tickets, if you don't have a train ticket or whatever. So I was hobbling to school for about a week, 2 miles to school, 2 miles back on a broken foot. I'd get into doing classes and everything, and it's just my back was just killing me. But I moved here for this shit. I'm not just going to walk away from it because I got a broken foot. The good side of this is that when I got to the accident, it was his fault, and I didn't have any money. But they totaled out my bike, and then there was a $15,000 settlement because it was his fault. I had to pay, medical expense and everything.
Yeah.
But I had the money until the GI Bill kicked in for when I went to school. So I went to acting school, stopped doing stand-up for the whole season. And then I'm like, I'm going back to doing open mics, on the off season. And I run into Stroy because through the whole year I've been like, getting them shows. Like I really liked them. I really loved, we talked all the time, and I'm like getting people to come to his shows. And, I'm at the Laugh Factory at the Improv, just helping them get shows and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then one night he goes, I'm putting you on a show April 30th. And I went,
shit.
Excuse me?
And then, but that was the best plan because it forced me to go out and go out and try to craft something. Still not really solid on writing. And, it's less than a year I started doing
Oh,
this.
yeah.
And I'm not grinding it like I ended up doing later on. Improv. Hollywood Improv. And now I've got like Brian Callen and Nick Swartz and fucking Sarah Silverman are sitting in the audience because they're going up.
You was in the main room?
I was in the main room. So, like, it's packed. Like, I didn't know that this is what I was going to be doing, So, but I knew that So I had my man, Sandy Stotzer, like what I was telling you about before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's going on before me. He's been doing this for 20 years. I'm like,
oh, shit.
Why is he biting the bullet? Isn't that what I'm supposed to do? I know enough about it. And he goes up and it was really great that he did because he said, this is what I do when I'm getting ready to go up. And he's like, start shadowboxing. And that's how I get really like, once I get that first joke out, I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the first 5 minutes before I get there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first show I did and up to 2 years after that, I literally wanted somebody to hit me, like driving. I wanted to be hit by a bus. So that way I could say, I'm not afraid. I just got hit by a bus.
Right.
And then it got to the point where it was like, I just want, it's that first 5 minutes before I go up there. And it's like, somebody called a show. Like, but once I listen to the audience and I got something to work with to just start it off right. Then it's downhill. So I did my first show at the Hollywood Improv, my very first show at the Hollywood.
Wow.
And like, it was a blur, but I remember laughter. And I was like, okay, that's the point. But I listened to it later. And I was like, okay, they're laughing at me. And I go back and I listen to it like 5 years later. I'm like, God, you're dumb.
You're like,
God, I laughed at that. Oh, God bless their soul.
I got to get booked there again. I'm so much better now. I got to show them.
Exactly. I got to go back there and show them. And I only did the improv a couple of times. But I became a regular at Flappers in Burbank, and I did the Comedy Store a whole lot those first few years, and then it became this thing about like bringer shows. Like, dude. And I got so like I marketed myself. Yeah, I had friends to bring out. Friends are only going to come out to so many shows before they're like. Okay.
Like, man, I got shit to do.
Yeah, they got shit to do.
You got new jokes if I'm coming? Like,
right,
I've seen
and I would, but it's like, okay, we know you're funny. We know they're only going to come to so much. So that marketing thing doesn't help. And it's slanted because these bookers got like 5-6 shows they got to do. And they're like, we got to put the pressure on you because we got to make a living. And I get that. Problem is that now you've got 10 comedians on one show and 5 of them are grinding it and want to do it. The other 5 people are people who can just bring 20 people.
Yeah.
And I had ended up bringing like 30 people to this show at the original room at the Comedy Store. Mm-hmm. And that's my favorite room.
Yeah, I love that room.
It's not like it's dark and cold like upstairs. And it's not the main room where you got to pack it or the energy is just spread. But this was like right perfect size. And the energy is always good for me. And I remember doing a show. This is the same show. And like the promoter comes up to me and says, I can't remember his name. And I want to forget anyway. He says, hey man, Bobby Lee's here. So I'm going to give him a spot. Do you want to go on before or after Bobby Lee? And I got
before.
I'm not going to fucking follow Bobby Lee. And not only because it's Bobby Lee, but because his energy is
he's super
fuck up here. And mine's is somewhere here. Like normally mine sits very calm. And I'm like, I don't want to bring my energy up that big to follow him. So like I went on before Bobby Lee, killed just fine. He went up after and he's like, I got to follow that. He just played it into his next thing. And right after that, like I said, I had 30 people there and they had to turn away 15, 20 other people because it was packed. Yeah. And they were like, hey, tell me when the next one is. We're definitely going to come out. And I told them, I said, look, I had to turn away 20 people. They said they're going to be back next show, put me on the next show. He's like, I got to make sure you bring enough people. I was like, look, I've always brought people out for you. These people said they definitely will come out. He said no. And I was like, okay. And that was the last bringer show I've ever done.
Yeah,
I don't like. I would much rather do a bar or work to get into some of these clubs than to have to say I'm going to bring a show.
Yeah,
Bring a whole bunch of people because it just like I'm not like it's not. I just don't like doing it. I just don't want to. So I don't.
No, those things are annoying as hell, and I love how they would like try and put it on you. Like, hey man, I'm like, Doc, I'm not trying to do this. So like, oh well, if you're so good and popular, you should be able to get 15 people. It's like, dude, no, I'm not trying to, harass my friends to get them here and shit.
Yeah. I want to be soft about this because I see the system how it's set up. But it really is just an asshole that will say you got to bring 10 people.
Yeah.
Now when I do produce a show, and it's been years since I have because I just haven't had the time or the willingness to go through that right now. I say, look, can you just and what I do is because I'm only doing one show at a time and it's like once every couple of weeks, I'll say, look. You got to give me the marketing materials. Give me a bio. Tell me how you want to be introduced. Give me a clean headshot. Give me your website. Give me clips, and I will post it and I will give it back to you so you can just keep posting it. And that's already enough for me. But I'm not going to say, look, I'm not going to put you on if you don't bring enough people.
Yeah.
Predominantly because the people that I'm going to invite to come back are the people that I love and respect, and they wield a certain amount of energy on it, and I want to be able to build a show that way. I can't sustain a show. I haven't been able to sustain a show, but that's the way I'm going to work. And eventually that's the way it's going to be just fine that way. But I just don't like, I've never been in that position where it's like, I got to do this show. So I'm going to be out on the street handing out tickets and things like that. And when I do have the option, I'm like, hey, I got a free show here. You don't have to pay for shit. Come on out, come on out. And when I do that, like, it packs the house. 40, 50 people come out. Only half of them have to pay, but it's fucking comedy. The room is packed. The energy's good. Everybody's having a good time. The club's going to make it off the bar anyway, so fuck it.
So, like, when you were doing all that stuff, like, what was happening with acting school and the acting career? Like, 'cause were you balancing both of them at the same time for a while?
I was and I wasn't. Like, when it was acting school, I knew that was taking up way too much energy. So if I just needed a break and I needed to just go, let me be creative to get my mind off of this, I would go just do an open mic. But I wasn't doing any shows. Only when I was on the off season, like when there's a break in school, did I start doing more shows. And like the second year I came up, I ended up doing some really crazy, this is when I was still doing, bringer shows and everything. I was doing some really crazy shows. And I'm like, I'm not going through all this and still have to act at the same time or even learn how to act. So I would wait until like the next time I would do a show would have been like, so I started in 2009, just open mics. 2010 was my very first show. And then like later in 2010, I ended up doing a whole bunch of crazy shows. And I'm like, you know what? I got people who are asking me to come on and be on their show where it's not a bringer show. It's not, and I can just, spit off what I know and just do it. And then I was like, okay, I'm not worried about getting ready for something or what I have to do. So I waited until after school to really start to grind into comedy again. So it was like, I always say I've been doing this since 2009, but if you squeeze it all together, I might have been doing this for 3 or 4 years, because there's just been whole months and like I haven't been out there. I mean, I know people they're doing open mic 2-3 open mics a night.
Yeah.
That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
But I also my career is split into 3 or 4 different directions.
Yes. So transitioning to that, so like you then started getting into acting, and you said that like you realized comedy wasn't everything for you, and that you had other talents and everything like that. So how did you transition from being stand up to now being on like big ass TV shows and shit?
Well, that. I'm blessed and I'm lucky and I'm grateful. When I went to acting school, everybody's coming out of acting school going, I need a manager, I need an agent. And I just really didn't care. Like, I knew I was going to be doing stand-up and I knew how to survive. Like, living in my car is no big deal. Yeah. And I did. I lived in transitional housing for veterans. I lived in my car. I just was like, you guys go lose your mind over this. I want to work on being a good actor and being a good comedian. And when I finished acting school, we have like I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and I stayed for the theater company. One, because the VA was going to let me do it, pay for it, and I was actually going to be able to keep life going, financially.
Mhm.
But two, because there was still more for me to learn, theater specifically, and it was great as far as the experience of being able to be in a safe place and learning theater. When we finish with that, they have a showcase where they invite like 25, 30 industry people, usually agents, managers, and people get a chance to look at you when you're doing your listening. So they do a scene in a monologue, and I did mine, and one of the managers said, "Hey, I'm going to pitch you to my boss because you're the one that I like out of all of this."
Oh, wow.
And the thing that they don't tell you is that in order to get a manager agent, I mean, unless you're just, far, they look at you and go, "You're going to make us money, and we know where we're going to put you right now.
Mhm.
You can make us money tomorrow." You really have to be able to set up you have to be able to set up for them to see you properly, because they've got to pitch you and they've got to send you out, and you have to have something to do that with. You want to have a reel and the resume and all that good stuff and the ability to do that. I did not. I had what that person saw, and I had my stand-up reel, which is not even a good stand-up reel. It's just it's clips of jokes when you really want it to be one whole thing. And I didn't have it, So I was like, "Hey, this is me. Here you go." They were like, "We can pitch you for commercials. So get some headshots and we got you." So I had a manager right after school. And I was like, "Okay, well, we want you to go do improv. So, because you can't get any commercials without improv."
Really? Why is that?
Because improv, if you look at commercials, you'll see that it's a very improv-y feeling, most of them, unless you're doing spokesperson or something that's highly focused on something specific. But with commercials, you're going to spend 8 hours shooting the same thing over and over again for 15 seconds. And you have to be able to just roll with them.
Yeah.
And half of my commercial auditions were improv anyway. They just say, "This is how you want it. This is what you're doing. Go do it." And so in Hollywood, at least at that time, I don't know very much anymore because I've always had a manager, always had an agent. But they want to see, at that time, you had to have improv on your resume in order for them to even take a look at you.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I went to Groundlings for the first one, and I'm not.
But people shit on improv so hard, like on a regular. But then it turns out that it's a thing that you need.
Right. Yeah.
It's probably definitely a good tool, but there is a lot of goofballs that do improv, man.
Well, I can tell you that I can't stand watch, like if I'm doing a comedy show and they've invited an improv troupe, I'm like,
"Oh, fuck.
It's the worst."
It can be so horrible, especially when the audience is not primed for it. Like people that go see improv, they're like, "Okay, yeah." There's only been a couple of improv troupes that are like, I mean, they've been doing this for 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
And what people don't necessarily understand about improv, it takes it's trust.
Yeah.
It's all trust, and it's all in the moment. It's why it's so hard to do, because, when I'm doing stand-up, it's like, I know my map and I'm having a conversation with you, but anytime where you're going off my map, I'll bring you back to it when I want to. Improv, it's whatever happens, roll with it. Just yes and or no but. That's the way it is. So it's right. For me, at least, it's really hard for me to trust that the people I'm on the stage are going in that direction.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to trust myself that I'm not going to run into a block of a place that I'm too afraid to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people that a very dear friend of mine is Deborah Wilson, who, I mean, Mad TV, she's like that all the time. Like you throw something at her and she will spit it back at you like it was no big thing. And to give you an idea of how important it is, the two progressive people, the first two, Flo and Jamie.
Jamie.
Jim Cashman, and I never met Flo, but I work with Jim Cashman. Let me tell you something. Genius.
Really?
Genius. Larry David, especially, like the Curb Your Enthusiasm is predominantly improv. So was that me or you?
That was.
I'm sorry. It's very unprofessional of me. Sorry.
It's all good. This is a very unprofessional podcast. Cheatham, come on, man.
I did have my phone go off in the middle of a take one time.
Oh, shit. They're like, that's going to be the last time that happens.
Well, I was already 2 years into the show, so it was just like, "Doc, really?" Like, "Oh, God, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
But, like, just in that, I think improv is just life. You know, you get something, you got to throw it back. You know, you just got to roll with it. I think that's important in life, but I'm just not, in my opinion, I'm not good with it. But, you know, rolling with Larry David, it was one of the best experiences of my life.
How'd you land that gig?
That was
that's like a pretty big feather.
There's a lot of life that surrounded that particular gig. There's very little separation between just life and art when it comes to that for me. So I got a manager. They gave me a commercial agent. They said, you know what, get this many roles, co-star roles, and we'll find you an agent, a theatrical agent. There's different agents for different things. Yeah. So I did. I got 6 co-star roles over the course of a couple of years, and then they pitched me to a what's name agent. I get an agent, and they're like, "Yes, we'll pitch you. We got you. We're going to get you." They did, and then somewhere less than a year, I was with that agent. I just said, "I'm going to go for a walk." I usually do something in December, and December and May are the times where people don't bother you. Like my agents don't bother me. It's how I'm here in Texas because they're like, it's not pilot season. It's not, episodic. You can go away and we won't care. And now I can do everything on self-tape. And if I have to go back, I can go back. Well, I decided, and usually December, I say, I'm going to go do something where nobody's going to bother me. I'll go, do something where just nobody bothers me. It's usually something,
that's awesome,
releases me emotionally or whatever. I've gone to meditation retreats for a month, silent meditation retreats, which you don't talk for a couple of weeks.
Damn.
Yeah.
You've gone and not talked for weeks?
Yeah.
Damn.
Does that fuck with you and mentally?
It's one of the most beautiful experiences I ever had.
Wow.
To be perfectly honest.
How so?
This is something that's been researched, but I'll tell you my experience in this. We're programmed a certain way, not good or bad. We are just programmed. Our brain talks all the time. It's our ego or our brain, our mind, whatever you want to call it, talks all the time. When I don't have a distraction from it, I can sit and listen to it. At some point, and his research has shown this, and in my experience, somewhere between 3 and 5 days of not talking, not having anything to distract me from my own thoughts and my own emotions, at some point, my soul or my emotions or my mind says, enough. It's all bullshit. It's not happening right now. Shut the fuck up.
Wow.
And at right around 3 days, 4 days, it goes click, and all the voices stop. And then when the voices pop up, you can say, that's nice. That's why I think that. That's why that happens to me. That's why my brain does that.
Wow.
And it becomes just peace.
So it's like the self-reflection that you're not going to get any other way, really.
It is a way that I suggest everybody try at least once. Yeah. It's one of those things where, you could go and do something that will put you in the moment for a little moment, but to be able to pay attention to what my body is doing or what my brain is doing all the time, not good or bad, not right or wrong, but just what it keeps talking to itself about, especially things that don't exist, because I'm always projecting into the future.
You mean like negative thoughts?
Negative thoughts, stuff. Positive thoughts, all of it. But being able to recognize it, I mean, I get to chance to sift through it. But driving here, I'm like, oh my God, my voice sounds this way. Are they going to like it? What are they going to talk about? Because I'm not good at improv and I don't know if I'm going to keep up with them. Are they going to talk about things? Are going to ask me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a minute, you haven't gotten there yet. It hasn't happened yet. What? Same thing with going to a comedy show. Oh my God, I haven't told a joke in 3 months, but is it going to work? Is it going to work? Wait a minute. Every time you've gotten on stage for the last 5 years, you're funny. Yeah. So just do it. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Just let life happen as it's happening. And I have to reset myself every so often by doing that. So every few years I do that.
Awesome. Let life happen as it's happening. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody wants to kind of impose their, or be in control of
absolutely
their emotions or just the environment around them.
Yeah.
And not just live it and fucking let it be.
Yeah. And it's just like improv where somebody says something and you're like, I have an idea what this should be and what's going to be funny. So I try to steer the scene away instead of just building on what's happening.
Yeah. Right.
So just one more thing about that is that what I was told, and I happen to believe, is that the ego can only live in two places. What I want, or what I'm afraid of, or what I really, really desire, or what my brain is telling me, can only dig in the past to project into the future. It can't be here right now. Because what's here right now is what's happening, and I can't forecast what's happening right now. I don't need to. It's happening. So when I'm afraid or I'm anxious about something, I'm always spitting to the future based on something that's happened before. And it's never true because it hasn't happened yet. And things in the past have already happened and I can't do anything about it.
So when you're doing those go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's like a very difficult thing for a lot of human beings. I mean, I go through it too, where you like have regrets, or I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I'd have done that, and everything like that. And then it just keeps building until you get to a point where it's like unbearable.
It's a part of the human experience, and like I said, for me, I get that reset. People who do yoga understand this, and people who meditate understand this, and I do. But every now and then, I need a reset just to 8 to 10 days of not having anything to focus on and not having outside of myself to distract me from what is just internally happening. And ask your question first, because I have something else to say about that.
When you're doing this, is there complete silence all day, 24/7? Like, are you still watching TV or?
There is no TV.
No TV?
This is a place that I go to.
Okay. And there's other people that are going through this too. And is it just complete silence?
Yeah.
For the entire time, do you guys communicate with each other?
You'll have, so the place that I go, it's called Silent Stay Retreat. They just moved because it burned down in California. Damn. So there's
some mute motherfucker was real mad.
They couldn't tell nobody. They was like, it's a fire.
You guys can't be me.
No, nobody will say a word.
What was the one, the joke you were telling? Was it you? No, I was listening to Dion Cole, and he says, he hopes that, what is it? He hopes that there's no, what is it? No deaf people in a black church because he's always, the preacher's always going, y'all don't hear me.
Yes, I know that. I've seen that one.
So the place that I go has a, it's not, you don't have to be silent, but they ask that people that do come there to respect each other and respect someone's silence. So there are people there. You can bring your laptop if you want. You can work on things. You can do whatever you want because the meditation portion of it is only in the beginning, in the morning and the night.
Got you.
So you can go, but you're asked not to talk to someone else because they're trying to be quiet. Mm-hmm. And couples come, and there are people that run the meditations, and you can go talk to them if you want some counseling on something, and they have a movement meditation, or they used to. But when I go, I lock my laptop in the car. My phone is in the car. I tell my managers and agents, it's not that I don't like you. It's partially that. But you can't contact me in 10 days.
Yeah.
It will be impossible because I don't have any of this. Mm-hmm. I might give them the number to the place if there's an emergency. But I would love to hear the emergency from my manager.
Yeah, right.
Like a real emergency, not, Spielberg's on the phone or something like that. No, I don't even want to talk.
That's not an emergency?
No, not this time.
Okay.
Like right now, if they said, hey, Spielberg, I'm like, hey, guys, thanks.
Yeah. I gotta go.
Yeah, y'all can't pay me for this.
Yeah.
But no, it's like I have, there's so much wrapped up into what I need on a daily basis, or I need my career, or I need to do this. This has to happen. That I want to take 10 days. And that's also another part of it is, look, the world didn't implode because I didn't do this right now. And that's a part of this whole experience.
That's definitely something I'm trying to learn, man, too, as like a dad now. Like my schedule every day is just like, from 6 a.m. until, here it is almost 8 o'clock, I'm still doing it. And I've been on the go all day. Yeah. It's so hard, man, because actually just yesterday, I started putting my phone on like no alerts and stuff just because I was just getting so much anxiety from constant communication. Because, we're talking, we're running this. I got stand up. I'm doing another podcast. Like it's just like constant bombardment. And I was starting to lose my fucking mind, dude. Like yesterday, the day before, I was having some anxiety that I don't normally have. That I'm usually pretty cool, but just the constant fucking ding on my phone and everything, it was giving me anxiety, man. So I had to like turn that shit off, and I've kept it off today. And so whenever I check my phone, that's when I find out I have messages now. I'm not just gonna sit here and like be a slave to it because I was like with trying to be a dad, trying to be present as a dad and stuff like that, it's very difficult, man. That's awesome that you kind of saw the same thing.
I feel that, man. I do. I mean, not the dad part because I stay clear from ever having but
you just haven't found the perfect woman. That's all.
That's it.
You haven't found Mrs. Right.
So
he's like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it.
I'll let you believe what you want.
No, man. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you, man. Because I mean, I love it, but yeah.
If you're praying for me, don't pray that.
Yeah.
God.
Don't pray.
I had a whole life before I had my son, man. So I did that fucking. I was a bachelor, I was a partier, and all that shit, man. I'm ready to settle down. So
no, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't I don't live the bachelor life. Like I just don't want people in my space.
I feel that.
I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that are like, I'll tell you something else comes from that meditation or that experience is that I realize that I don't have. I say this loosely, but I don't have to do anything. That when I do answer the phone, it's because I want to. And that because I'm not constantly bombarded with I have to, I must, I need to, then I can pick and choose and I can say, I'm doing this because of this, and this will lead to it gives me that buffer to not react to life, but to respond to it. And not saying that I do it well or all the time. It's just that it gives me a little buffer of going, I would react this way because of something that would force me to do it, an anxiety or a fear or whatever. And I get a chance to slow down and go, no, I don't want to do that today because I don't want to do that today. No, I don't have to. Now, of course, there's a ripple that comes from all these things, but that also gets taken into account as opposed to just putting a small gap in my synaptic firing, if you want, to just respond to life a little bit more.
No, that's brilliant, man, because a lot of times that's where a lot of the stress comes from is like your reaction or your thinking that like, oh, I have to do this. This is like it feels like someone's attacking and invading your personal space when that happens.
Absolutely. And just to give a little recharge once a year. For me, I'm capable of doing it for 10 days. Yeah. And then 1 year I added, there's a spa retreat that I would go to. It's like, I mean, it's cheaper than going to any hotel in the planet. What planet? Cheaper than any hotel in America. It's like $60 a night.
Oh, wow.
And they have, it's a hot springs where you can go and sit in 110-degree pools where in there you can't talk. It's like a little meditation.
Is this in California too?
This is actually right on the California-Nevada border, but they have them all over wherever there's hot springs. I mean, they have them everywhere. And also I read, because I researched a lot of this stuff before I did it, and I read that the top 10 vacation places in the world for businessmen and CEOs and executives or whether it's, whatever it is that have those high stress, high paced lives, 7 out of 10 of them were meditation retreats.
Wow.
And I'm like,
makes sense.
They know that they have to pause. Now, I don't know whether they take their phone and their laptop with them, but at least they get a place where they can not have to do a lot for a little bit for a little while. So I looked into that as well for my well-being. I coming back from Iraq was a huge thing, and then going to acting class where now I'm spewing out all these emotions and trying not to kill people while I'm doing it. That was a huge thing. So anywhere I can balance that out when I did. COVID was a very long silent retreat.
Yeah, pretty much too. Yeah.
But to go back to what happened with Kirby through that again, this is a lot of in May. I'm like, I'm going to do something in December, and I had done the meditation retreat, and I was like, I think I just want to go for a walk. And then a friend of mine who showed me the spa retreat or the hot springs. She said, why don't you do the Pacific Crest Trail? And I said, the fuck is that? Because I had no idea what it was. I was just going to tear off the highway and just start walking with a backpack on. She was telling me this Pacific Crest Trail, and I looked it up. This was in May. I called I just knew I was going. I called my manager. I said, hey, we need to have a meeting. And they said, I sit right next to him. I said, hey, look, I'm thinking about going to go do this hike for 5 months. The Pacific Crest Trail is from Canada to Mexico, all through those 3 states.
Damn.
2,655 miles long. And I was planning to do every mile of it.
No.
Yeah. So I sat with my manager and I was like,
on foot?
Yeah. Hike.
That's what I said. I said, walk, motherfucker.
That's a hell of a walk. I'm talking about walking to the corner store. I'm gonna go for a walk. I'll be back in an hour.
But I gotta tell my manager that I'm walking to the corner store. You know?
Yeah, just fucking get some Newports, never come back. Just
So I called my manager and I was like, hey, we need to talk. And I sit down and I was like, look, I'm planning on doing this trail. It's gonna take me about 5 months. They were like, sure, tell me when you're back. Like, because I had so much anxiety around telling them. Like, I hadn't reached where I am now in my career, but I'm like, oh, thank you.
I can do that.
Yeah. I tell my agent, they were like, motherfucker, we do so much for you. And I was like, I was breathing. I was like, hey, I am grateful for everything you do. Look at it this way. I didn't say that because that would have been a little bit confrontational. I was like, hey, you guys can take a break for 5 months. And guess what? I don't expect you to be here when I get back, but I would love it if you are.
Yeah.
Because I had made up in my mind, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
And I ended up going on a trail and hiking. I ended up hiking only for a month, and I hiked the entire state of Washington. I was in the military. I know how to hike. Not like this. It's different. You know, when you're in the military, you're carrying an 80-pound pack. You're doing a whole bunch of different things. It's different. With this one, you can't carry 80 pounds. I know. I started off with 80 pounds because I'm stupid and I didn't listen to anyone. By the time I went a week, I was down to 30 pounds. And that's about, even that might be too heavy for me. Because I started walking 9 miles the first day. By the time I finished my month, I was walking 26 miles a day. Damn. I went from being 310 pounds to 266 in a month. Because you're just moving and you're taking in so many calories, but it can't keep up with how many you're burning. Mm-hmm. So, but the important part was I had no phone. I had no TV. It was me, my food, some brown bear every now and then that would just scurry away from me, or black bear, excuse me. And people that I was meeting on the trail. And I would go, because there was no cities around, I would sleep at the highest point I could in a clearing. And I could count satellite to go to sleep. That's how beautiful it was.
Damn.
We had a meteor shower one night and it was just these big, huge burning rocks. I mean, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. By the time I got finished with that, this is just this part of my life. Something told me that I needed to get off the trail. And I did. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. It was just my gut that said, get off the trail. And I was going to go to Florida to see my family. I still had like 4 more months left. And I'm like, I'm not telling you guys I'm back. I'm just going to tell my manager word that I'm not on the trail and I'm going this way. I ended up driving the long way to get to Florida. Because I'd been to all 48 states and I didn't have the Dakotas. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to South Dakota because I can go see Mount Rushmore and I can, find that. And I got to go by Wisconsin. So I get to Mount Rushmore, not impressed. But somebody
seen better,
right? Not that. It was just like, all right, okay. I really need to figure out how much this country's lied, about these 4 fuckers to really give a fuck about a monument that's built. And then they hear that Donald Trump wants to put his name on it. I'm like, okay,
this motherfucker,
right?
Did you feel any because that's also supposed to be like spiritual land from the Native Americans? Like,
I'm glad you said that.
So did you feel a connection or anything spiritual? No, not a damn thing.
This is what happened. I drove there and I slept in my car because I got there in the middle of the night. And I went to the gas station and I'm like, I'm here, I'm just happy about it. I'm here in South Dakota, blah, blah, blah. I haven't got pulled over by the police yet for no reason. So that's good. And like somebody said, hey man, you need to go see Crazy Horse. And I'm like, sure. Fuck is a Crazy Horse. He told me the story about Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse was a tribal leader who they made a deal with America. And then as soon as he's riding his horse away, they shoot him in the back, dead. So in 1948, the tribal leaders in that area got together and asked someone to build a monument to him. And one of the creators, one of the people who were working on the Mount Rushmore said, I'll do it. And he broke off from there. Him and his family, basically, which was like 5 people, camped out at this other place and started the work.
Wow.
And now since 1948. Like, it's a family thing. There's like 37 cousins and grandchildren and blah, blah, blah. They're still doing it. The reason they're still doing it is because they're not taking money from the federal government to do it. They want to do it. So when I tell you it's more impressive, all 4 heads of Mount Rushmore can fit in this monument.
Dang.
That's how big it is. And they're still working on it.
That's crazy.
So I did see that. That's where I felt more connected.
Okay.
Because it was just, I was improving life at this point. I was just taking what was next thing. Now, I'm driving through South Dakota. I'm on my way to Wisconsin because I got to stop by there, see some people, stop by New York, blah, blah. The only, first I got pulled over by the police for no reason, and then
Wisconsin?
No, this is in South Dakota.
Okay.
After I'm seeing, Blue Lives Matter signs, which,
okay. Yeah, you're in trouble then.
I'm in trouble. Yeah. I get what you're saying, but I'm in trouble. So we're just going to drive. The speed limit's 80. I was going 78. He blew me over, said that I was going 90. I'm like,
that sounds really familiar.
Yeah.
But it's why I wear my hat.
Yeah.
Because they'll see that I'm a veteran and they'll go like, okay, we're not going to.
Yeah.
So I get to a place in South Dakota where it's the only place you could turn. It's the only place where I get cell reception. And the same friend that told me about the trail is calling me. Hey, where you at? How's everything going? I said, I'm in South Dakota. I've only been pulled over once, and I'm on my way to Wisconsin. You're in South Dakota. Are you going to go to Standing Rock? And I'm like, what the fuck's a Standing Rock? I knew what was happening. I just didn't know where it was, and that Standing Rock was where it was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't want to go 300 miles out of the way that I'm going. But we lost contact. And I said, I just typed in Standing Rock in my phone because I did have a GPS still working.
Mm-hmm.
And I pulled over and I just started breathing because when I hit that to where it was and I pulled over, I was at the only turn that would take me into Standing Rock 300 miles north.
Wow.
If I had kept going, I would have had to go like another 200 miles around, something like that. And I was like, well, fuck, I guess I got to go now.
Yeah.
Right.
And I went up to Standing Rock and for 3 days, and they were building the infrastructure for the long haul. And it was cold, it was flat, but it was beautiful to see 300 tribes of Native Americans all in one spot for this call.
Wow.
It was very, what really fucked with me is that it felt like I was in Iraq again because it was very tactical. Everything was tactical. And they were also asking if I wanted to stay. I was the only person who had any medical background. There was a nurse, there was another combat medic that was there who came up to help. And they were setting up the hospital and everything, or what they could. And I was helping out with that. But because of my military background, some people wanted me to be like on patrol and doing some sneaky peek stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. And I remember feeling like I was back in country again. And I was like, I can't do this right now. So I was only there for about 3 days and I still had to go to other places. And that wasn't my end point. So I did this whole trip, right? I'm in Florida with my family and that's where I went to go. And I'm there. And I'm like, what am I going to do? This is where I was told to go. I have no idea what I'm doing next. And I had 3 choices. Either I can come back to LA. Didn't have any big plans to do that. I could drive up the coast and just do, work on the material and just do some stand-up all up and down the coast, build some kind of thing. Or I could go back to Standing Rock. And I remember thinking, go back to Standing Rock. And this voice came and says, why are you going back to Standing Rock? Are you going back to help or do you want to start some shit? And I went, oh, fuck. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I don't know. So I'm going to wait because I don't know. And while I was waiting, 3 hours later, I called a friend to check because she was getting my mail. And I said, what do I get in the mail? And it was a letter from the VA. I needed to go to an appointment that I could not miss and I could not be outside of the state for. So it was like, there's my answer. Go back to LA. Yeah. So I drive back to LA. I drove cross country in 52 hours, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Because if I hadn't called, I needed to do that in 2 days. It was the appointment was 2 days away, so I needed to get back. I get back and I start checking my emails, and evidently one of the casting directors, the one that cast all of Judd Apatow's stuff. Allison Jones is her name.
Oh, yeah. She did Arrested.
She did Arrested.
Yeah.
The Office.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done, what did I do with her? Up to that point, I had done, she didn't do Pretty Little Liars. I did a show for her, and she just brought me in all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just, when a casting director brings you in all the time, they love you. They're just trying to get you on something because they like you and they want these shows to like you too. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure that my agent dropped me, except for she didn't know I was out of town, and she was just bringing me in, not even putting a breakdown on, just bringing me into something. So when I get back, they're like, "Hey,
we missed you.
We missed you." My agents were like, "Hey, so you're still with us." Yeah. So I get back, and they bring me in for the very first audition I had was Mom, and I ended up doing that, and then the next one was Curb Your Enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. And I'm going in for the audition. And there's a 13-page contract that says I can't tell you everything about it. What I can tell you is that Larry David broke character laughing. And I'm like, I don't have to book this. Yeah. I'm fine. Yeah. I never really watched Seinfeld. Yeah. But I was watching him do Bernie Sanders for the last couple of years at this point. And the reason that I was able to do that, and I didn't book it that time. And I didn't. Now that I think about it, I didn't really want that one because it wasn't like the character that I ended up doing. When I went in again, it was like I did it again, and then they booked me for it. So the long run to answer your question is because I spent 3 straight months not giving a fuck about anything. Mm-hmm. To when I walked in there, I'm like, okay, you're fucking Larry David. Let's do this. That was the when I said life came together for that. Right. That's what I meant. Mm-hmm. Then the next 7 months, I booked 17 projects because I continued to walk in not caring. Yeah. And that's when I got Young Sheldon. Well, I got Curb, I got Arrested Development, The Good Place, How to Get Away with Murder. It was just a string of things where I was like, okay, here we go. And I just didn't care. And when I got Young Sheldon, I had already been on Mom, so Chuck Lorre I guess he had his eyes on me, and Valco and Miller, who are the casting directors for them, were bringing me in for stuff too. And like I said, when a casting director keeps bringing in, it's because it's not just about your talent; it's about who you are. Mm-hmm. Right. It's much more important, at least when I produce things, and what I'm finding out more is that it's much better to find someone that they like working with for 8 hours a day than someone who is just going to be talented. Yeah, they really want someone who they're willing to work with, and I get really excited when I get lit up, and I'm really I love being on set. So when I got Young Sheldon, it was like I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's a one-liner. I'm still doing those, so fine. And it's Chuck Lorre, so I'm like, hey, I did Mom. They must. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, one-liner. And I get in there and I do it. And I'm like, it's so hard to do one-liners because it's like you have to build up so much for that moment as opposed to having a backstory or having something to work with. And when I did a show, it was like my first gig I ever did. Oh, it was it was Hello Ladies that she was booking. That's why I knew Allison Jones. But I came on set and it was so wonderful. I came on set for Pretty Little Liars, and one of the actors came on and says, "We really thank you for being here." I said, "Oh my God, no, thank you for having me." She goes, "No, you don't get it. You have the hardest job because you have to create everything, and we've already got it. Mm-hmm. You're coming into this house. We built the house, so it's harder for you." And I realize that. So when I see somebody who's coming in, I always make sure that I try to at least make them feel comfortable because it's a jarring experience to come on a set with people you've never met, and now I've got to create this life with you. Right. So I did this thing, and I was like, the line was, hit him again or go and break it up. That's enough. And I'm like, I'm a college coach. I'm a high school football coach. And I'm like, okay. And I'm yelling, Texas accent or just a Southern accent or whatever I put up with. I'm like, okay, that was good. I love them, so fine. I don't know how I did because it's just one line, and I always feel like I've done something wrong. Yeah. So, but I just walk out, and it wasn't until 2 days later when I'm actually reading. I read the script, but I'm actually reading it again, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is 80s Texas football. I'm a football coach. my character is baked into the script. And that's when I started going, oh, it might be recurring.
Oh, wow.
That's when it hit me. Like, if I had seen that before, I may not have.
Yeah,
like,
you might have.
I might have given a shit about that.
Yeah.
But then they called us like, yeah, come on in, and you know, we want you for it. And I got a chance. I love him because I watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia. But Bill Ponderosa, Lance Barber plays him, and I'm like, as soon as I meet him, I'm like, Bill Ponderosa. He's like, yeah, that's me. You know, like he gets it all the time because that's the thing that he did the most. And you know, I meet Chuck Lorre and Jim Parsons and John Favreau directed the first episode and all these guys, and it's like,
that's awesome.
It's not that these guys are just, I mean, guys that have created some of my childhood, you know, and created some of these things that I'd seen. They're just nice dudes that are professional and they want to create. They have gotten to a place where that people trust them with creating something, and that's just. Like, that's where I want to be, and that's where I am, and I'm going towards it. And it's just that whole experience was just a wonderful experience. And then for it to be my first recurring, and you know, my ego is like, oh my God, I'm not where I should be right now after only 6 years. At that point, 6 years of acting. And then other people were like, you're miles ahead of all of us. And I'm like, that's something to be grateful for, yes. But the truth is that somewhere in between there is just exactly where I'm supposed to be right now, you know. And I get upset when I don't grind out comedy and stand up every now and then, and I'm not doing it as much as I should be. But it's like you're living and you've got enough, and then when you go do it, you just do it full on.
Yeah, that's a great way to wrap it up, man. To put a bow on it, because that was like a theme throughout this interview, man. Was that you were showing people how to like quiet their minds, how to like realize like that, you know, that not everything is as important as you think it is, you know what I'm saying? And to like trust yourself at the same time too, because that seems to be like what's so important in acting and everything like that is just like believing in yourself. And if you do, I feel like it's like a lot easier for other people too as well.
Yeah, I think, well, that part is true, is that when you show up with who you are, people will either move towards it or move away from it, you know. And me personally, as far as like how I get where I am and being okay with who I am, I was born in North Carolina, raised in Maryland, went to Iraq twice, lived in Japan for a little while in the military, ended up in 29 Palms, California, got out and stayed in California. And then I'm in Palm Springs in college for the first time at age 30. And then I see Larry the Cable Guy and Dave Chappelle watch it, make a decision on a motorcycle, end up in LA, and now I'm on a TV show. I don't know how to draw that line.
Yeah.
So I can't make that happen with just my own mind. I just have to watch life happen. You know.
Man, there's so much.
And now I'm in Texas.
Now you're in Texas.
You know, here.
When you could have been on a mute retreat right now. Instead, you chose to come to Texas.
Absolutely.
And do that.
And you know, every step of the way, I'm just like, okay, great. Let's do this.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
And go skydiving.
I saw that
too, man. How did you end up you already know what the first question is. Like, how did they get a brother in a plane that wanted to jump out?
Right. And you know, you noticed that it was an orange jumpsuit. That's how they did it.
They
were threatening me with. No, you know what? To be perfectly honest with you, one of the reasons why I'm in Texas is because it's easier for me to learn how to skydive and get my license here because of weight restrictions are different here, and it's a little bit cheaper here. So a part of my being here was I was looking at 3 months ago. I'm looking, hey, how far are you guys away from San Antonio? What is it like? What do I need to be? What do I need to bring? How much does it cost? And it was one of my end of year goals. So I've actually been saving money for this. And what's fascinating about that is that like everybody else, there's something I put on Facebook a while ago, and it says, don't tell anybody your hopes, dreams, and what you want to do, because people will fuck it up every time. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go skydiving. Oh, man, no, what are you? Shut the fuck up.
They're always going to say something negative.
Because guess what? If you look at the statistics for driving and the statistics for skydiving, you should never drive a car again. That's the truth. So this was all, if I want to do it, I just go do it. And like, if I'm going to die, then
You're gonna die.
There's plenty of ways to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die doing what I want to do.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a fun way to go.
Did you have any experience with that though when you were in the military?
No,
Okay. This is just some crazy random. I'm doing this shit. This is what I
want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I had hasty repelled in the military, and other people have go through special forces and they go through jump school. Mm-hmm. And a couple of my friends were like, "Yeah, so we've made 1,000 jumps. Make sure that you clear your ears when you're coming down because it hurts." And you're jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. So
that's crazy.
You're already fucking crazy, so we can't tell you anything else.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really quickly, last year, after, watching everything on Netflix, I just decided that I wanted to do something about a part of this pandemic. So I went and volunteered to get people tested. And then I got the vaccine as a part of the trials. It just made sense to me. So I did it. Skydiving, from what I hear, just made sense to me. And let me tell you, experiencing it is a whole thing different than listening to people talk. I mean, that's just life, period. Mm-hmm. But jumping out of an airplane, like, first of all, when I paid the money, that was the decision. Like, there's no backing out. You $300 I'm jumping out of this plane. Yeah. And the whole way up, when I get into that thing, I get quieter and quieter and stiller when I get to those types of moments. And then it was like, here's what we're doing. And when I jumped out of the plane, every little fear that had been sewn into my system, everything that I'd been programmed with, went right out the door. And because this is my speculation, because I would do the same thing, because the only experience that I have with falling is hurting myself, then all I could think about was the feeling of falling when I got up there. But once I did, you don't feel falling. Yeah. It is actually a part of the laws of physics as to why you don't feel falling, because you're already moving at 145 knots this way. Mm-hmm. When you jump, your speed is still the same, and it's just getting transferred to down. So you don't feel falling.
Oh, wow.
And you look down, and it's just the earth coming up to you. You don't feel like you're falling.
That's
all you feel is the wind. Yeah. You have no reference to feel falling.
Yeah.
There's nothing to refer. Like when you're driving in a car and you're going past people, you can judge how fast you're going by how fast people are going by you.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you have to refer to how fast you're going. But unless you look at the speedometer, you don't know. It's the same thing for falling. There's no reference. All I can see is the earth. And it's so slow that by the time I think it's coming fast, it's too late anyway.
Yeah.
But once you just start understanding what you're doing and feeling that wind, and it's just, you're in the sky where the nearest person to you is the person who jumped out in front of you. And guess what? They're about 5,000 feet away from you.
Mm.
They're just over there. And it's just, the sky is so big. And when you pull that ripcord, when you're coming down and you're guiding that thing, when you pull hard right, it feels like a roller coaster. Yeah. Because that's where the force is because you're falling in reference to gravity differently.
Okay.
So it feels different. And I got to tell you, I got to go do 25 jumps to get my license. This is one of those things, the same way I think about silent retreats. This is one of those things where I think everyone who is physically capable of could do and just get a brand new perspective on life and this universe.
Did you jump with your eyes open or closed?
Open.
Oh, you look right into that shit.
It's the same thing as jumping into a pool of water.
Eyes closed.
No, because I'm doing all this. Trying to keep away from the cannonballs.
Yeah, that's awesome. This was an awesome interview, brother, for real.
We got to get you back.
Yeah,
we haven't even got into all the Hollywood stuff and everything. Like,
dude, absolutely
we couldn't.
Just don't talk about WWE. I can't help you.
You can find him on You can find him on Instagram at Doc Farrow. That's JDocFarrow. Go to docfarrow.com, facebook.com/JDocFarrow. You can find us on Instagram at Podcast The Gray Area, facebook.com/The Gray Area Podcast, Twitter at Podcast Gray Area. Also check us out on hotpiemedia.com. Check out all of our past episodes, some of the other people that we've had on there and everything. We've got some awesome episodes up there. And check out some of the other Hot Pies.
Shout out to all them cats. Paranormally, y'all still scaring the shit out of people. Big Dan, I see you.
Big Dan.
Out there sprinkling it on them.
Yeah. But
that ain't CBD. I know PCP when I see it. Goddamn it. I know PCP when I see it.
By the way you was acting, that was PCP.
Yeah. But thank you all.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming on the show, brother. This was so interesting. Such an awesome conversation. So enlightening as well, man. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you guys all listening. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. Don't be stingy. Tell your friends. Send a review. Whatever you got to do. But take care of each other. Be kind. And until next time, here's Mud in Your Eyes.
Peace.
Thanks for listening. You can find more episodes and all other Hot Pie Media originals baked fresh daily at our home on the web at hotpiemedia.com, the Hot Pie Media YouTube channel, or wherever you listen to podcasts.